Hello, dear participants. I can see already some of you joining the room. Welcome, everybody, to this eTwinning webinar. Let me just 1 second start the recording of this session because, as you know, these webinars are recorded. 1 minute. Okay, the recording has already started, so we are good to start. Welcome, everybody. To this webinar entitled eTwinning Stories 3 is the third appointment of a series of webinars dedicated to the inspiring stories of eTwinning educators from our community. This webinar is organized in particular in collaboration with the eTwinning feature group Wellbeing at School. And for this, I have the pleasure to introduce you to our guest speaker, Daniela Bunea, who is an eTwinner, an eTwinning feature group moderator, and is here with us to share some tips, suggestions, resources, and inspiring experiences from her stories as teacher. Additionally, she will also focus in her session on well-being and the transformative power of O in education. Without further ado, I will soon leave the floor to Daniela. I will just remind you a couple of technicalities. The first one is that this webinar is recorded, and the recording will be shared on our official YouTube channel, the one of the European School Education Platform, as of tomorrow. And the second reminder is to please feel free to use the chat throughout the whole session if you have any questions, comment, curiosity for our speaker, Daniela. Me and Daniela will be checking the chat for the course of the webinar. And if there's time at the end of the session, I'm sure Daniela will be happy to address any of your questions. Now I will leave the floor then to Daniela and her webinar.
Thank you, Alessia. Welcome, everybody. I'm always very, very happy to talk to fellow eTwinners. And I am sure that as much as I have to tell you today, you would have as much to tell me some other time. And I'm looking forward to other eTwinning stories in the future. I chose to talk about well-being. This year is the annual theme of this year is well-being. So I decided to talk about this topic, but also to focus a little bit more on the transformative power of awe. As a teacher, I have long tried to infuse awe and wonder into my activities in my classroom. In part because I love it when kids go wow, but also because I know that after the wow, the kids are primed to learn. For example, when I show cool images of Peru's vast night sky and dazzling views of stars, after a few minutes of marveling, the students are much more eager and prepared to, for instance, write stories featuring space travel, aliens, or a climate positive future. Some other times we feel awe when we hear beautiful music. Look how Maya Angelou describes this in her poem, A Brave and Startling Truth, a very well-known poem of Maya Angelou. It's a poem that centers on the potential for humanity to create a peaceful world. And we do this, she says, by overcoming the flaws such as hatred, violence, indifference. Maya Angelou emphasizes the collective responsibility of humanity to recognize its shared destiny, because we have a common destiny. The whole poem serves as both a warning and a call for action. This is very important. It urges us to realize that the truth about our capacity for greatness and goodness will only be fulfilled if we choose to embrace it and, consequently act accordingly. When Maya Angelou writes that, the heart falters in its labor and the body is quieted into awe, she is describing a profound emotional and physical reaction to something extraordinary. This is very important. Hearing songs of exquisite sweetness. These lines suggest that such beauty can be so overwhelming that it temporarily stops us in our tracks, filling us with a sense of awe and wonder. The heart falters, stops for a moment, because it is moved by the beauty. The body becomes still in response to the powerful experience. This reaction indicates that we can indeed feel amazed, inspired, deeply affected when encountering something truly beautiful. Let us listen to some instrumental music. It is beautiful music, and many of my students over the years have experienced awe when listening to it. Just for a few moments. Yes, it is George Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue, here accompanied by Disney talent in the 2000 animated film Fantasia. Rhapsody in Blue blends classical music with jazz elements, and this was groundbreaking 100 years ago. Yes, it premiered in 1924. This fusion created a new, at that time, a unique sound that bridged cultural and musical divides. It showcased the potential for diverse musical traditions to coexist and enhance one another. It hinted wonderfully at the amazing things humans can do together. The piece covers, I'm sure you remember, it covers a wide emotional spectrum, from the energetic and exuberant to the contemplative and lyrical. This emotional depth allows listeners, any listener, to connect with the music on a personal level, finding very often in its various moods and expressions, finding awe, followed by inspiration. Great filmmakers combine emotional depth, inspiring music, and inspirational characters to present profound awe. Uh, okay, this is a scene dear to my heart. My students over the years have come to love these awe-stricken characters. They are awe-stricken. Maybe you already remember the scene. It has become iconic due to the intensity of their reactions. Watch for a few moments.
Daniela, I think we don't see the video moving.
Oh,
Maybe you need to click on the on play or on the on play in the middle of the picture.
I played. I clicked, and for me
Oh,
it plays. I'm sorry.
for
So
us it
if
doesn't
you
play, but I can paste the link in the chat. Maybe. What do you think?
okay, thank you. I can try again. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's not like the other one with the play button down here. It's in the middle, the play button. I'm sorry, but can you see the picture, the first picture with the 4 people in the car?
Yeah, we can see that.
Okay, because it's from Jurassic Park, the first
Mm-hmm.
one, 1993, and it's the first time Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler see a living dinosaur. And their expression of disbelief a few seconds later, okay, not this picture, um, their amazement embodies the momentousness of the discovery. The moment when Ellen and Ellie see the first dinosaur is cinematic magic. The combination of, I'm so sorry that you cannot hear, but the music is iconic. The computer generated images are groundbreaking. The sheer sense of wonder on the characters' faces perfectly captured the awe of seeing something once thought impossible to come to life. It's a moment that resonates with anyone who has ever dreamt of witnessing something extraordinary. The film builds up to that, if you remember. I'm sure that you have watched this film. Um, I'm sure that you remember the characters' reactions that before the audience, we, the watchers, even see the dinosaur, the first dinosaur. It's a perfect example of how the director, Steven Spielberg, blends storytelling, emotion, and visual effects to create a scene that sticks with you long after the movie ends. Oh, I'm so sorry that you could. I kept clicking and nothing happens, I think.
It's okay, Daniela. No. Now it's
I,
moving. Now it's moving.
oh, okay. So just a few. If you look at the characters' faces, first Ellen and then Ellie. The mouth open, their eyes, the dinosaur, and the music. Okay, thank you for watching with me. I think that you would agree with me that was awe on their faces. Uh, After I decided to use this scene from Jurassic Park, I thought about myself, and I was thinking which moment of awe of mine to share with you. And it has to be my first day ever in Paris. I had dreamt about going to Paris forever. I had read books, I had watched movies with scenes in Paris. Nothing prepares you for the real deal, though. October 2022. We land, take the subway, wander through the underground corridors, heavy luggage on our bags. Okay, we arrive at the hotel, we lie in our rooms for a while, and then we leave again. And it was then when it happened, when I first saw the Eiffel Tower in the distance from a bridge. It really hit me. I was in the presence of wonder. I keenly needed a photo, and one of the students obliged. I wanted to preserve that moment as a cherished memory. We really got excited and started walking briskly towards the tower. The closer we got, the faster we walked until we were running. Once under the tower, we were like little children. It was so very exciting to be there. It was a magical moment. The awe that I experienced when seeing the Eiffel Tower for the first time from that bridge fostered a deep sense of gratitude on my part because I felt thankful for being able to witness, to be part of something grand, magnificent, which enhanced my overall sense of well-being and appreciation for life. Awe and wonder go hand in hand. And I prepared a short video. I hope it works, but it's still got the play button in the middle. Can you see and hear it? Thank you. Thank you. getting students to experience such magical moments, because I think you will agree with me that all of the moments that composed that video were awesome. Getting students to experience awe is a vital learning tool that has far-reaching and very significant impacts. Experiencing awe and wonder, by experiencing awe and wonder, and by cultivating this in their students, teachers expose their students to amazing things. And they create in this way a learning environment where the students feel engaged, creative, and, as I started on the first slide, primed to learn. I really like this phrase here. But what is awe? Can you please help me concoct a definition? So there are some words missing, but the first letter is there. After we've seen these few videos and yeah, we listened to some words connected to experiencing awe and wonder. The awe is the brief, okay, it starts with F, of being amazed, right? Feeling, very well, thank you. Okay, so awe is the brief feeling because it's a brief feeling, right? Okay, so the brief feeling of being amazed in the moment, as they said in the video, of being amazed, inspired, right? The brief feeling of being amazed, inspired, and overwhelmed, okay, at some point, by something grand. It's again an adjective, so what starts with O is that very short word. It's either grand or extraordinary. Okay, thank you. It's an emotion, if it's a brief feeling, right? An emotion like joy, sadness. I listed some of them here. Emotions are brief feeling states. They enable us to accomplish fundamental life tasks, such as finding nutritious food or fleeing peril. Emotions are central to our individual survival, and they are vital to our evolution as a species. My question for you now, and maybe you write in the chat your answers. What emotion do you associate most with learning? So if you think of all the emotions that you know about, which emotion do you associate most with learning? If you can answer in the chat, thank you. Very well, enthusiasm, curiosity, right? It's the beginning. Curiosity, it's the beginning. Thank you. Excitement, students' annoyance, but maybe not all the time. Inspiration, right? Excitement, okay. Let's see about the students then. Which emotion do you think your students associate most with learning? If you can answer in the chat. So your students? Thank you. Which emotion do your students associate most with learning? What do you think? Okay, creativity, right? And we are proud and happy and content. Annoyance, okay. From time to time, at least. Yeah, this is the system nowadays, I imagine, I think. Boring all the time, okay. Not so good, but we need to acknowledge it. Thank you. So if awe is the emotion we experience when we encounter vast mysteries that we don't understand. Remember the big eyes, the open mouth, um, that we don't yet understand. People have described an awareness of peace and purpose after experiencing awe. A sense that all is right with the world when experiencing awe. We humans have a basic need for awe. It is wired into our brains and bodies. Awe is hard to define, really. The father of the science of awe, because there is such a science, so the father of the science of awe is an American psychologist, Dr. Keltner, and he has attempted a comprehensive definition, and his definition goes like this. Awe is the brief feeling of being in the presence of something vast that transcends our current understanding of the world. Remember, not yet understand. I said vast, but the vastness can be physical, okay, the simplest of them all, but it can also be temporal, and it can also be semantic. And I put here three pictures. And if you think of physical vastness, it's like when you stand next to a 100-meter tall tree. If you think of temporal vastness, it's like when a scent transports us back in time to the aromas of childhood, for instance. I think you recognize Marcel Proust, and you can even see the Madeleine in front of him. And also vastness can be semantic when it's about ideas. It's when one's accustomed frame of reference in some dimension is challenged. Awe is therefore a response to an experience of vastness, something so powerful that it lies outside our usual frame of reference. So it's not ordinary, but extraordinary. Like immense canyons, like celestial phenomena, the towering mountains. Also, great works of art or music can make us experience awe. Notice that awe isn't limited to grand or vast things. So the big definition is about vastness, but it can be experienced in the minuscule as well, in the intricate as well. The fine details in a work of art, like the delicate lace, if you can see it around the woman's neck. This is Johannes Vermeer's painting, The Lace Maker. Also, there is some subtle play of light on the surface. Also, the precision in a tiny object. This can be just as awe-inspiring as monumental scenes or grandiose compositions. In fact, the skill and patience required to create something so detailed and small often evoke a deep sense of wonder. It's the realization that someone could masterfully capture such complexity and beauty in something so small, so small that can make these moments profoundly moving for us. The experience of awe in the minuscule reminds us that beauty and inspiration can be also found in the smallest and most unexpected places. Awe transcends our understanding of the world, says Keltner. Uh, he has led much of the research on awe over the last 20 years. He has been a guiding force for how emotions show up in popular culture. He's the one who advised companies like, if you look to the left, Facebook, on their reactions feature, because there is a wow emoji, and Keltner is the father of this emoji. Also, I'm sure you know the films Inside Out. The film Inside Out 2 has just come out. Kellner also advised Pixar on both of these films, Inside Out. Just as in a moment of surprise, awe prompts a strong need to understand the magnitude of a scene and incorporate it into our worldview. That's why we use the emoji. That's why we identify ourselves in different moments of our lives with the characters in Inside Out, if you have seen the movies. The feeling, okay, it is brief, but however brief, it is more intense than surprise, or is more intense than surprise. It overwhelms our senses. It's not a passing flutter. It is an immersion. Finding awe is easy if we just take a moment and wonder. Because these 8 wonders of life are all around us. The strength, courage, kindness of other people around us. The collective movement in action like dancing and doing sports. Nature, music, art, visual design. Mystical encounters, encountering life and death, big ideas or epiphanies. Awe transforms us. When we experience awe, we are empowered to open our minds to wonders, to see the deep patterns of life because there is structure, and also to collaborate. Awe brings us joy, it brings meaning, community, it brings healthier bodies and more creative minds. It is almost always nearby, or manifests itself in our chills, tears, wide open eyes and mouth, okay? And the wows, things we do not see in the Vulcan's Tuvok, the Paul or Spock in the Star Trek universe. I am a Star Trek fan. Okay, these Vulcans, they do feel their emotions even more deeply than humans, but they suppress them. We gain much well-being by being amazed at things that are outside ourselves, or moves us to deepen our relations with the wonders of life and to marvel at the vast mysteries that are part of our fleeting time, I wrote here. Any kind of feeling setting can trigger a moment of awe. But some of the most, this is very interesting, some of the most profound experiences of this emotion come from looking up. Gazing at, remember the picture, gazing at the snow-capped peak of Kilimanjaro, or a giant sequoia in Northern California, or the twinkling of the Big Dipper, the stars. We feel the contrast between our own scale and the immensity up above. One of the striking things about awe is how upward it goes. And awe usually does come from big things. Think about trees, but also think about churches. I put here the poster of a film. Maybe you remember the 2021 movie Don't Look Up. Two astronomers go on a media tour to warn humankind of a comet, a planet-killing comet, hurtling toward Earth. And the response from a distracted world is, meh. Do look up. Really, do look up. By day, the sky forms a radiant canopy overhead. But at night, the stars that glisten in the darkness pull our attention toward worlds beyond. Less than 200 years after we first invented a balloon, and we flew in a balloon, so less than 20 years after this, we figured out how to venture beyond the planet's atmosphere entirely. Astronauts have long reported a transcendent feeling, again, this word. It is known as the overview effect, the title of this slide. This is an intense version of awe, maybe the most intense of all. It brings about a sense of the interconnectedness of life and the dissolving of boundaries such as nationality and culture. Neil Armstrong was experiencing the overview effect on his voyage to the moon when he wrote this. I put up my, when he remembered the voyage, I put up my thumb and shut one eye, and my thumb blotted out the planet Earth. I didn't feel like a giant. I felt very, very small. This is the overview effect. Other astronauts have said they have felt a strong spiritual consciousness rise within them, coupled with an awareness of the fragility of life on our planet. Even the two currently stranded astronauts on the International Space Station, Suni and Butch, must have felt it going up. Now we are drawn even deeper into the vast unknowns of the universe. Space tourism is on the horizon. Planets that may be habitable have been found orbiting nearby stars. Talk of forming a colony on Mars is no longer confined to science fiction, but just as important as what we find out there is the perspective we gain on life down here. While orbiting the moon on one of the early space expeditions, the crew of Apollo 8 caught sight of the blue and white swirled Earth rising in the dark sky, and astronaut William Anders leapt for his camera and captured the picture on the left. This is the first portrait of our beautiful planet in its entirety. It has been called Earthrise. It is iconic, and it marks the first time that the vast majority of humans who would never venture into space otherwise, they could view the Earth in the same way the astronauts do. It is indeed a tiny little thing floating in emptiness, in an endless emptiness. There is awe evoked by this photo in such a degree that it helped raise awareness about the limited nature of our planet's resources, and it helped to launch the modern environmental movement, I read. Awe is what moves us forward, said Joseph Campbell. Awe provides us with energy. Awe helps us think vividly about what is possible and about the beauty of every living thing's creation and existence. Indeed, Maria, if I am to play, if it works. It's a kind of magic. Awe evokes wide-eyed, jaw-dropped expressions. Could you hear? It was just the first line of the Queen song. It's a kind of magic. Could you hear it?
Daniela, could you try to replay it? Because personally, I didn't hear it. Maybe the other participants, yeah. Try to replay it.
Oh, okay, no. But I only needed the first line. Repeat it twice, you know? It's a kind of magic. I can sing.
Yeah.
This is all I needed. Thank you, Alessia. Okay, because I wanted to make sure that you understand that awe evokes wide-eyed, jaw-dropped expressions, and it is like magic. And it often arises when we find ourselves in new surroundings, which helps explain why travel can be so awesome, but also why childhood prompts such a blurring between magic and real life, because everything is new for children. And so everything can be magical. Most magicians don't perform for children under the age of 6, really. For children under the age of 6, the tricks performed by magicians fall flat almost all the time, because young children are as enthralled by garage door openers as they are by levitation. It's the same thing for them. What fascinates and inspires children Those awesome magical moments. This is what fascinates and inspires them. These moments wow them, they captivate them, they cause their eyes to shine and their tongues to stick out in deep concentration. Remember, I'm sure you remember, maybe even with your own children. Uh, if children are, but okay, if children are to keep this inborn sense of awe alive, they need the companionship of an adult who can share it, rediscover with them the joy, excitement, and mystery the world will inhabit. Parents will do, and starting with the pre-primary level, teachers will do as well. The need to nurture inquiring minds, which can innovate and communicate across boundary, it is a core value. Children naturally search for meaning. They do it by experiencing the world as beautiful, awesome. I have here some examples of magical moment provocations in a pre-primary classroom, and I think you will agree with me. A snail climbing a window. This is magical. Seeing how many different kinds of bees are on plants in a garden. Baby birds in a bird box. Visits in the classroom from new mothers with babies. Even burying a dead pet or digging up carrots or potatoes, picking strawberries, picking and eating strawberries or other fruit, seeing the patterns and structure of leaves, the patterns and structure of feathers, the patterns and structure of shells, gazing at stars, this is classical already, splashing through a puddle, this is magical, feeling small, standing next to a huge tree, this is again, I think, already classical, catching snowflakes with one's tongue. I wholeheartedly agree with this. Autumn leaves seen through a magnifier or seeds seen through a magnifier. I finished with teacher created experiences. For instance, if we go on a field trip to a farm, or if we make and play with bubbles, or if we have a drawing lesson or a painting lesson and we observe what we draw or paint, or even, and this is something that maybe I have read and I have heard from other teachers that happens quite a lot when a student sees their teacher out of school. Remember when they are pre-primary, okay, also primary level, in a supermarket, for instance. Magical moments do not occur all the time. Yeah, this is important. But when they do occur, they act as catalysts with the child's learning that drive them into deep involvement. The child is empowered to discover more, to explore, to sway in learning. Children have an innate sense of wonder and awe. They have a natural desire for exploration. But curiosity, remember, curiosity is not enough. It's the foundation, but it's not enough. The guidance of a thoughtful and intentional practitioner, the teacher, is essential to enable pre-primary and primary students to maximize their learning through free explorations, okay, focused explorations, guided explorations, question-based learning opportunities. Practitioners can use, teachers can use magical moments and natural curiosity to nurture children's interests and attitudes, because these wow moments are, in fact, the motivator for further thinking. The next slide, okay, is about secondary students, but I wrote this sentence here because secondary students, okay, they move from wonder at and wonder about. Pre-primary and primary students do this. So the secondary students move from wonder at and wonder about to wonder whether, wonder if. Uh, This is the time when students are helped to understand big ideas, actively engage in the construction and communication of knowledge, supported by their teachers. This is, in fact, a central component of cross-curricular instruction, and this is what we do with our eTwinning project. Teaching materials from other content areas can be eased in by using awe and wonder, and this is what I do. Over time, students who are taught with cross-curricular methods process content and language at increasing levels of complexity while building important skills and strategies, critical thinking, creativity, and others. Cross-curricular instruction also connects students' lives and interests and incorporates, and this is very important as well, especially nowadays, it incorporates joyful learning because we need to have joy in our lives. And this lead to higher level of motivation. Trust me, they are not going to be bored any longer. And after motivation comes engagement in the classroom. All this helps students effectively communicate across subjects, across languages, across cultures. Teaching from a place of awe and wonder is a rewarding enterprise. It brings real life into the classroom, while at the same time bringing students' learning to life. Has been linked to enhanced well-being in several ways. This was, in fact, the starting point when I first thought about this topic. Experiencing awe, such as being in the presence of something vast or extraordinary, can shift our perspective, making us feel connected to something larger than ourselves. This sense of connection can lead to increased positive emotions and also decreased stress and even improved physical health. There is research that suggests that awe can promote pro-social behavior and the sense of meaning in life, contributing to overall psychological well-being. In a classroom setting, fostering experiencing of awe can greatly benefit students' well-being. When students encounter awe-inspiring topics, such as the vastness of the universe or the complexity of the natural world, it can spark curiosity and wonder together, leading to deeper engagement with the subject matter. I think you will agree with me. This enhances their motivation to learn and to explore further. This is vital for long-term academic success and for their personal fulfillment. Additionally, experiencing awe can reduce feelings of stress and anxiety in students, promoting a more positive and conducive learning environment. Encouraging awe-inspiring experiences in the classroom can cultivate a sense of connection to the world that is around them, foster a broader perspective, contributing ultimately to a student's overall well-being and academic achievement. And the next thing that I want to tell you is that the students experience awe, okay, in the classroom, but when students do this, it can also have positive effects on the teacher's well-being. Witnessing students engaged in awe-inspiring moments can be deeply rewarding for teachers, as it validates their efforts in creating meaningful learning experiences. It can renew their passion for teaching, and it has done this for me many, many times. It can reinforce the teacher's sense of purpose, leading to increased job satisfaction and reduced burnout. Moreover, facilitating awe-inspiring experiences can foster a positive teacher-student relationship because it promotes mutual respect and the shared sense of wonder. I already said this, teachers may also feel a sense of pride and accomplishment, knowing that they are contributing to their students' growth and well-being. Overall, the presence of awe in the classroom can uplift the teacher's spirits and enhance their overall well-being. Incorporating thought-provoking literature parts, short parts of text, or inspiring historical events through photos or paintings evoking those inspiring historical events that evoke awe, these parts of literature and these historical events that we choose, can enrich students' learning, can enrich their experiences in the classroom in a variety of ways, because there will be emotional engagement, like, okay, awe-inspiring content can evoke strong emotional responses in students. They can respond emotionally, and they can make their learning experiences more memorable and more impactful. This emotional engagement can deepen their understanding of the material and foster a greater appreciation for the subject matter. There will also be critical thinking and reflection, because, okay, thought-provoking literature or historical events often prompt students to question, to analyze, and then to reflect on ideas that are complex, different perspectives. And this encourages critical thinking and helps students develop a deeper understanding of themselves by reflecting. There will be cultural and historical awareness, because exploring awe-inspiring literature or historical events allows students to gain insights into different cultures, different time periods, different human experiences, and this makes their worldview larger and fosters empathy, which is also very important. Understanding towards others, extremely important nowadays, and it contributes to their overall social and emotional well-being. There will also be a sense of purpose and meaning, because engaging with awe-inspiring content can help students find meaning and purpose in their learning journey. It can inspire them to pursue their passions and explore new ideas, make connections between their studies and their personal values and goals. Okay. There will be community and connection. Sharing awe-inspiring experiences in the classroom fosters a sense of community among students. They connect. Also, a connection between students and their teacher. This creates a supportive learning environment. In this supportive learning environment, students feel valued, they feel heard, they feel understood, and they feel empowered to express themselves. Ultimately, by incorporating awe-inspiring content into their teaching, teachers can create enriching learning experiences. These do not only deepen their students' knowledge and understanding, but also contribute to their overall well-being by fostering emotional engagement, critical thinking, cultural awareness, a sense of purpose, a supportive sense of community. On the next 3 slides, I presented rather briefly an activity that I called Imagining a Journey to the Stars. I have done this activity many times with different generations of students, usually 13, 14, or 15-year-olds, learners of English as a foreign language. I usually use a short story by Isaac Asimov. I have used 5 or so far, but also sometimes Once I used the part of The Martian, and some other time I used part of Carl Sagan's Contact. Of course, I used images and videos of outer space, spacecraft, celestial bodies. This is what it's not very comprehensive, and it's, well, on the next slide there is step by step some instructions. Also, so because I'm a teacher of English as a foreign language, I needed some writing materials, paper, pens, access to digital devices for writing. It depended, yeah, because sometimes I have a bring your own device environment. My learning objectives were, they are written here. To engage students' sense of awe. I wrote this one as the first one. Students' sense of awe and wonder about space exploration. You know by now that it's a a topic very dear to my heart. The next learning objective to encourage creative thinking and imagination, because this is what I wanted from them. Also to promote empathy and understanding of the challenges and possibilities of space travel. And for the English part, really to develop descriptive writing skills. Usually it takes me 2 classes, so 2 classes of 50 minutes to do this. These are the step-by-step instructions. I'm sure that Alessia will at some point put the PowerPoint somewhere, the slides, maybe in the group. Okay, thank you. These are the step-by-step instructions. I'm sure that using those resources and bearing in mind the learning objectives, maybe you can do even better. Each time the learning outcomes were what I expected. Each time students demonstrated increased engagement and enthusiasm for learning about space exploration. No exception. Well, no exception as a whole, you know. Okay, there still are in each class bored students, as you mentioned. My students also developed their creative thinking and imagination skills. They deepened their understanding and empathy for the challenges and possibilities of space travel. They enhanced, okay, my English objectives. They enhanced their descriptive writing skills to the creation of vivid and engaging texts that were at some point shared with their classmates. In a nutshell, this task aims to appeal to students' sense of awe and wonder about space travel. So it's like a model, like an example. It encouraged my students to explore their creativity, their empathy, their descriptive writing skills, and at the same time, they deepened their appreciation for the mysteries and the possibilities of the cosmos. Conveying awe in students can potentially increase their generosity. And I wanted to make a slide or two about this. So their generosity can be increased, and also their willingness to make more ethical decisions. Research has shown that experiencing awe can lead to a range of positive social and ethical outcomes, including increased generosity, compassion, and ethical behavior. But are there any risks? I wrote here. Okay, while appreciating the extraordinary aspects of life and experiencing awe can have many benefits, okay, there are some potential downsides. These downsides appear if this appreciation is overemphasized, or if it's not balanced with an appreciation for the ordinary aspects of life as well. So the risks are like this. The first word, toughening, okay, it refers to, for instance, frequently seeking extraordinary experiences might lead to diminished sensitivity, because what once evoked awe might become less impactful over time, requiring more intense or novel stimuli to achieve the same emotional response. So this is diminished sensitivity. I wrote then unrealistic expectations, because constantly seeking extraordinary experiences can create unrealistic expectations about life. Everyday experiences might start to feel mundane or disappointing in comparison, leading to dissatisfaction. Neglecting the ordinary means that focusing too much on the extraordinary might cause individuals to overlook the beauty and value in ordinary moments, in everyday moments. And this can result in a lack of appreciation for the small, simple joys that contribute to overall well-being. Escape from reality, an overemphasis on awe-inspiring experiences might become a way to escape from the challenges and responsibilities of daily life. And comparison and envy, it's constantly seeking extraordinary experiences might lead to comparisons with others who seem to have more awe-inspiring lives. And this can result in feelings of envy. Balancing awe and everyday appreciation is the answer. And you need to think about mindfulness and various techniques. You have to think about gratitude and practicing gratitude regularly. You have to have realistic expectations. You have to enjoy diverse experiences, both extraordinary and ordinary. And you have to do some reflective practices, because when you write a diary entry or when you meditate, you can sustain their impact of these practices without the need for constant novelty. Not everything needs to be new. Awe is a strength of character also, and it aligns itself with several other aspects of character strengths. And I put here some photos of Taylor Swift's concert on Wembley last month. And I realized, wow, how women can be powerful. Maybe you used to watch Taylor Swift, or you listen to the radio and Taylor Swift comes up. Okay, now for a few minutes, the floor is yours. I just put here we are going towards the end. I put here 4 pictures. Which of these 4 photos do you think would appeal most to your current students? Which would elicit awe? Think about what subject you teach, about your teaching and learning context, about your students' interests, their talents. If you are so kind and write in the chat, so either picture 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, and a very short explanation, like maybe it's New York with human achievement on one side and the preservation natural beauty on the other side. Or maybe the one with lady slipper orchids, those are flowers, right? Okay. Maybe even the Earthrise, that picture taken by the astronaut. Or maybe it's even Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa. Does anybody care to answer? Or maybe, you see, they are different. Maybe 2, okay. You never know with teenagers, yes. Well, with what maybe their first reaction is like, wow, what's this? Maybe they don't know what it is. And the wow comes first, and then after marveling, it comes the learning. Thank you. Yes, okay, again the flowers. Thank you. I put here 3 photos that I used in my project. This is the Christmas truce on the left. of 1914 in a project about World War One. The picture with Europe in the form of a bear, it was about saving the bears. And the one on the right, 100 years of inventions and catastrophes, from the invention of X-ray to the invention of Blu-ray. And the title of the project, eTwinning projects all, from Marie Curie to Mariah Carey. Very awe-stricken title. I have here some tips for cultivating a sense of awe, but I have talked about each and every one of these before in my examples. And yes, you can have a look at them, like very slowly reading each and every one of the points. Really, I started, there are some main challenges that I had encountered. And those challenges had eventually driven me towards cultivating awe in the classroom, because I've been teaching for 29 years. 29 years ago, I didn't have these ideas. My students were not motivated enough. They were not curious enough. They were not playful enough, or a combination of these. And I found solutions for each and every one of the challenges. I provided a more stimulating environment. I modeled wonder. I always model wonder. I wonder in front of them. And yes, because most of them, they were not playful enough at a certain age. So I encouraged imaginative play. Well, secondary school students. Teaching students to wonder means nurturing their curiosity first, and then encouraging inquiry and fostering a sense of awe in the world we inhabit. Always be on the lookout for the presence of wonder, E.B. White's advice and mine, because awe is the beginning of wisdom. This is what Socrates said in Plato's Politeia. Understanding the world and oneself, curiosity and wonder is the answer. It will have an emotional impact that will help your students grow. I have some recommended resources. I have many resources. I have tons of resources to recommend for cultivating awe in the classroom. I will, however, stop at one of the most versatile collection of such bits of inspiration. It is the Europeana site, and two of its offsprings, Teach with Europeana, with lesson plans, learning scenarios, and stories of implementation. And also the very recent Digital Cultural Heritage Story Map. I have found this resource so inspiring and so useful that I myself have created and published in the last 5 years or so learning scenarios, 5 stories of implementation, and I remember this, 19 micro stories for the Digital Cultural Heritage Story Map, all sparked by Europeana items. Thank you. I hope I have inspired you with my understanding of what awe is and how inspiring it can be for our students. Don't forget to look up, to explore, to engage, to connect, because all you need is awe. All we need is awe. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Daniela, especially for concluding with this very inspiring call for action to all our participants. And thank you for offering this journey into the sense of wonder and awe and how to implement it in the classroom as a learning tool. I hope our participants found inspiration. As you can see in the chat, there are quite inspired comments, and I encourage to implement what we learned today in your everyday teaching practice. I thank again Daniela for her presence with us today, and I remind you all that all these materials will be available as of the next days on the feature group of Daniela. I posted the link to the group a couple of minutes ago in the chat, and also on our YouTube channel of the European School Education Platform. Thank you very much all, and thank you, Daniela.
Thank you to
Bye.
everybody. Thank you.
Have a nice
Bye.
evening.